this beautiful exhibit, and it was much smaller because it was so many years ago. If he could see it today, he would be amazed. I just want to say to the people who had the dream and made this a reality, thank you. Thank you for honoring one of the greatest, if not the greatest generation of our time. And I agree that Colonel Hardy and Colonel McGee, they look like our dad, they talk like our dad, they walk like our dad, they exude the honor that our dad exuded. And if our dad were here today, I know what he'd say. I'm just going to share a little excerpt from a speech that my dad gave way back in the 1990s. It's not dated, but it was a speech that he made. I'm only going to read a couple of sentences from it. But just piggybacking on what Robin said, my father wanted to fly. He said in that small town of Vauxhall, New Jersey, it was close to an airport, and he would see the planes circling overhead, and he became a model airplane nut, and every cent that he could scrape up, he said, I used to buy model airplane kits or pulp magazine about flying. And then he goes on to say about the Tuskegee experience. He said the training set up by the Army Air Corps at Tuskegee was the standard Army Air Corps flight training, with the added pressure of it being in a completely segregated environment. If you went into town, you had to ride in the back of the bus. If you traveled by railroad, you had to ride in a car right behind the engine. If you used a water fountain or public facility, it had to be the one marked or colored. This was a highly unpleasant situation. But I think at that time, my focus and the focus of my classmates was on defeating the enemies of our nation and on paving the way for other members of our race by demonstrating that we were competent, professional military pilots. Amen. Tuskegee Airmen love flying, they love their country, our country, and they believe that the inequities they face would be changed, and they were part of that change. And when we talk about the airmen, we must remember that it's more than the pilots. There were less than 1,000 pilots that matriculated through the Tuskegee Air Corps program, the pilot training program, but there were some 16,000 support members, and they are just as much a part of the Tuskegee experience. All of the mechanics, all of the ground crew, the nurses, the dietitians, everyone who worked on the Tuskegee experience to make that dream a reality, and they deserve our honor and ours.
And now our dear sister, Dorothy Roberts, will come up here and join us. We need to call each other about wearing red. We all have a thinking for the red hair. She is the true historian of the family and wanted to share some of her thoughts about our father.
Thank you, sisters, and to you gentlemen. All of what my sisters have said, I can see that so well. You do remind us so much of our father. I just want to take a few minutes to say that the legacy of the Tuskegee Airmen continues on through the work of so many of the different chapters. And we have a chapter at Keesler Air Force Base named in our dad's honor. And we have some folks here who are present this afternoon. And I'd love for them to stand and let us welcome them as well. We have Spanky, our president. Because our father would want to say that the legacy has to carry on, and through the work of the Tuskegee Airmen chapters, that's what happens. When we were young, we would just think about our father and he would clear his throat at the dinner table. And that's how we knew to get quiet. That's how we knew to listen to him. And so I am just grateful to have a moment with you all to share in this spectacular event. And we thank the Ricketts family. I will say I'm getting ready to marry a Ricketts. He's right over there. And so thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of this evening.
Sends his apologies. He wanted to be here. He's a school teacher in Houston, Texas. He's the tall one in the back. As you can see, I didn't want to wear a dress, that's why I was scratching it.